What's up guys, this is Sriram and in this video I'm going to be talking about the top 5 smartphones under 17,000 Indian rupees. I'm making this video because who doesn't love a good smartphone for a cheap price, and also there has been an increase in the number of people who've been actually going and buying budget phones instead of opting for a mid-range or a high-end smartphone. Here are my top 5 picks. Now, I have used none of these phones as my daily driver, but these would be the phones that I would consider if I was looking for a budget smartphone. So in no specific order, let's begin with the Honor 7X. So the Honor 7X has an all-metal rounded up design, so it should feel quite good to hold in the hand. It also has a 5.93-inch IPS LCD screen in the front with fairly small bezels. The resolution of the screen is 2160 by 1080, which is an 18:9 aspect ratio. It is really good to see a high resolution screen make its way into a budget smartphone. It has the Kirin 659 octa-core processor and runs EMUI. It comes with 4GB RAM standard across all variants with an option to choose from 32 or 64GB of storage. It comes with Android 7 Nougat out of the box, but it will receive the Oreo update, to which the confirmed date has not been released yet. So the Honor 7X is rocking a dual lens setup at the back with a primary sensor of 16 megapixel and a secondary lens of 2 megapixel. The bokeh mode seems quite gimmicky as with most other budget phones, but it does have a low aperture mode in which it allows more light to enter the lens and helps you in low light photography. It has neither optical nor electronic stabilization. Camera is one department where most budget phones get hit, and the 7X's camera seems to be a decent one. Powering the Honor 7X is a 3340 mAh battery, which should last you an entire day. There are two things to note about the Honor 7X. First is that it still has the micro USB port instead of the USB Type-C connector, and second is that it runs EMUI. There are a lot of people out there who love pure stock Android like me, and if you are one of them, following are the two phones you should definitely consider. The next phone on the list is the Moto G5S Plus. So the G5S Plus also has a metal back which will give it a good feel, but phones with metal backs are usually slippery, which can be fixed with a case or a skin. On the front is a 5.5-inch 1080p screen with good visibility outdoors. The screen is a decent one, nothing too spectacular, and it gets the job done. Below the screen is a fingerprint sensor which is quick and accurate. So the G5S Plus runs stock Android with additional features from Motorola like Moto Actions, Moto Display and one-button navigation. Moto Actions has features like double chop to open the flashlight and double twist to open the camera, which are really useful features, and I use it a lot in my Moto G4 Plus. The phone has quite a big fingerprint sensor which can be used to operate the phone instead of the on-screen navigation buttons. So the G5S Plus, like the Honor 7X, has two cameras at the back, each being 13 megapixel with an aperture of f2.0. It can take some pretty good shots in good lighting environment, especially with HDR turned on. The portrait mode seems gimmicky again and is not accurate, but Motorola has added a feature called Depth Editor where you can turn the background monochrome or change it altogether. If the photo is taken accurately at the time of shooting, the Depth Editor works really well. The low light performance isn't great either, the photos lack detail and turn out to be soft. So the G5S Plus is rocking a Snapdragon 625 processor with 3 or 4 gigs of RAM and 32 or 64 gigs of storage depending upon the model you get. The performance is expected to be smooth, especially because Motorola's software is very close to stock Android and there is zero bloatware. The phone comes with Android Nougat out of the box, but it will be updated to Android Oreo. So the phone has a 3000 mAh battery which should give you around 4 hours of screen on time. It also has fast charging and uses a micro USB port. It should take around an hour and a half to charge the phone completely. Moving on to the next phone, the Xiaomi Mi A1. So the Mi A1 also has a metal build with the fingerprint sensor at the back of the phone. The phone runs pure stock Android, comes with 7.1.2 out of the box, but it has already received the Android Oreo upgrade. The phone has two lenses at the back, each being 12 megapixel, and I've tried the depth mode on the Xiaomi Mi A1 personally, and it recognizes the boundaries of subjects pretty well in well-lit environment. You are going to hear me say in well-lit environment a lot because at this price range you really can't expect mind-blowing camera. In budget phones you need good light to get decent to good photos. The phone has a 3080 mAh battery with fast charging and uses the Type-C connector. It should last you a full day with light to moderate usage, and charging takes around an hour and a half. Okay, the next phone on the list is the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Also has a metal build and kinda looks like the iPhone 10 from the back. It is similar to the Honor 7X in terms of screen resolution, which is 2160 by 1080, and just a tiny bit bigger, coming in at 5.99 inches, again with fairly small bezels. The phone has two cameras at the back, a primary 12 megapixel sensor and a 5 megapixel monochrome sensor. And from the samples that I have seen, the colors do look natural with good amount of detail. It is the first phone to be powered by a Snapdragon 636 processor. It has 6 GB of RAM and runs MIUI, which is quite clean but is not very close to stock Android. With the 636 inside, the performance should be smooth with minimal lag. The phone is packing a huge 4000 mAh battery, which should last you an entire day with heavy usage or even 2 days with light usage. It supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0 and has a micro USB port. So the last phone on the list is the Honor 9 Lite. It is very similar to the Honor 7X, so it makes more sense to just go through the differences instead of all the specifications. So the major difference from the Honor 7X are in display, the battery and the camera. The display comes in just a tiny bit smaller at 5.65 inch but with the same resolution, so you will get more pixel density. The battery is also smaller, coming in at 3000 mAh. The Honor 9 Lite has a 13 megapixel primary camera instead of the 16 megapixel on the Honor 7X and a secondary 2 megapixel sensor. I would expect the 7X's and 9 Lite's camera performance to be very similar. So there are two more phones I'd like to mention. The Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro, which didn't make the list because it wasn't priced under 17,000 Indian rupees, but it is still a pretty good phone. It comes with Samsung's 1080p Super AMOLED screen, so can't go wrong there, and has a Snapdragon 7870 processor, which is comparable to the Snapdragon 625. So the next phone is the Moto G6, which is expected to launch soon. If you have decided to buy the G5s Plus, then it makes sense to wait for the G6 and G6 Play to come out and check them out as well. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.